So are you ready to PR yourself? We'll remove the mystery from all things PR, and we'll discuss everything from our top strategies to tips and tricks and everything that you can utilize to further enhance your brand or your message. I've been in media, I'm a journalist, and I'm also a publicist. I am Leah Frazier, CEO of Think3 Media, and your host for PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. Let's go. Welcome back to PR Yourself with Leah Frazier, and I have somebody in the studio right now that just can't get enough of coming onto this podcast already. She is back. We have Quiana McDaniel of the House of the Shade.
Hey, boo, I'm back.
She's back. She's quickly going to become one of you guys' favorites because she just can't get enough.
Can't get enough of this place.
So today we're going to hit on a little bit. We're just going to kind of backtrack a little bit. Mm-hmm. This is a shout out to our small business owners, entrepreneurs, startups that are like, why in the heck should I even consider PR? Mm-hmm. And so we're going to tell you a little bit of our background, our funny little story. Tell people a little bit about your experience. Tell them about the House of the Shade first, if this is their first time tuning in.
If this is your first time tuning in, I'm Quiana McDaniel, owner of the House of the Shade in DeSoto. We are a women's clothing boutique. We carry all shapes and sizes, sometimes up to 5X, but definitely small to 3X.
All right. And just tell us about the growth of the brand, because at some point, you reached out to me.
Yeah. So I started, like I said, I'm not from Dallas. I'm from the west side of Chicago. Moved to Dallas and started the Shea Cosmetics. And I wanted the Shea Cosmetics turned into House of the Shea and the Shea Cosmetics. And I wanted them to be a well-known staple in the Dallas community. So I'm thinking, how do I do that? Like, I don't know nobody here. What do I need to do? So, long story, let's go into the backstory. I had a PR, brand person at the time. Her name, Tremonica Brown. Love her to death. She was working on my grand opening, and she said, I need to get Leah Frazier in here. Leah Frazier, she's the one that you need to meet. I'm like, okay, whatever. My husband takes the name and does some research. It's like, this Leah's hot. Like, she looked like she know what she doing. I'm like, yeah, okay. So this went on for maybe 2 months. No lie. 2 months. They were like, both in my ear. You need to get out with Leah.
What was the skepticism?
It's just I don't trust people. You know, that's just me. Naturally, it's a no. I've always been raised to say no, no 3 times before you say yes once. So it's just something natural with me.
Yay, my luck. Just my luck. Yay.
And I remember going to this book event. I did not know Leah was I didn't even know who Leah was. I actually thought she was somebody else when I first met her. But then I had looked on the paper and I was like, oh, that's Leah. I said, oh, my God, my husband going to kill me if I don't get up and go say something to her. Now, I didn't go up to her like, oh, hi, Leah. I'm so glad to meet you.
Tell the truth.
I didn't go up to her like, I'm so glad to meet you. Nah, it was nothing like that. It was like, hey, my husband gonna kill me if I don't say nothing to you. Here's my card. I couldn't find a card, so I gave her a gift certificate, but I boarded the back. Like, you ain't get nothing free. I boarded the back and said, we gonna do lunch sometime or whatever. You know, I didn't even really, I'm so sorry, because I didn't even really introduce myself or anything.
I'm just going to press pause right now. Let me paint the scene a little bit better.
I did not even introduce myself.
I'm going to paint the scene a little bit better, okay?
It was more like, you gonna do it on my time.
Right. So, Southern Dallas Magazine had
shout out to James Thomas.
Yeah, shout out to James. Mm-hmm. Had like a small business symposium and book event.
Mm-hmm. For all authors. It was like just a whole room for the authors in the business. Right. Yeah.
So we had a panel, and I was on the panel, Mahisha Dellinger of Curls. Yeah. There was
Princess Pope.
I don't remember Princess being on the panel.
She was there.
Mm-hmm. Princess was on the panel?
Yep.
Okay. Princess was on the panel. But let's just say 8 or so entrepreneurs, and also at the time was one of my friends over from Channel 8 as well. So they had a media personality on the panel as well. And we were just supposed to impart business tips to startup small business entrepreneurs. Panel concludes, people will go up to the panel and want to give you their business card, want to talk to you, want tips and tricks because they're energized. And so I'm talking to people, and then here comes this petite woman coming up to me and was like, my husband told me to talk to you. If I didn't talk to you and I go home and he gonna kill me, here's my card with my information. We gonna do lunch. We gonna do something. And it was just so much energy thrown at me. And it was so crazy that in my mind, I was like, I'm not going to lunch or dinner with you. You're nuts. It's like somebody had just vomited energy on me.
It is so funny because without me just going through that, I just remembered I never even said nice to meet you.
You did not.
I never said none of that. I was like, and we're going to do lunch. And
hella rude.
Matter of fact, here got my information. Basically, you got 24 to 48 hours to call me.
Yeah. And then before you know it, we went to Papados. We talked. And
now how I got her to dinner after that, I honestly don't even know.
I don't remember.
But
I was so put off.
We go to Papados, and of course, me in my direct fashion, I was like, I'm one of them people who I'm not sugarcoating anything. I'm gonna tell you where I'm at. I'm gonna tell you where I need to be. I'm gonna tell you what my goal is, what my budget is. I'm just gonna lay it out. And so I'm sitting there, and I could see it in her face. She's like, "Oh my God!"
Like, this woman is nuts. I'm not doing business with you. You're crazy.
And I had all these I was so skeptical though, because here you can pay somebody for something and never get your money's worth. And then being a small business, you can't necessarily afford to do that. So you have to be very strategic in what you do with your money. So here I am hiring a PR person and all these accolades. I'm like,
you grilled me. It was like I was going on a job interview with you, and at the same time, you didn't realize you were on a job interview with me.
Yeah,
do I want you as a client?
I still think that I grilled you the most out of any one of your clients. I'm like, so when you worked for, I knew who she worked for in the past. When you worked for them, what did you produce? How did that work? Tell me what your contracts look like. Is it a 6 months? I mean, she was looking at me like, oh my God, she's getting on my nerves.
The food was delicious. Shout out to Papados.
Yeah, so shout out to Papados for helping us secure this relationship because it was very rough. And it was rough on both ends, whereas...
Because you were crazy.
I really did not want to meet with Leah. If it wasn't for my husband or the people in my ear, because my husband was not going to let it rest. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have never had that meeting. And I told her that out the gate. Like, you only here because he wants you here. Like, he... You only here because he won't stop.
So let's press pause and kick a shout out to Charles McDaniel. Thank you, Charles.
He did all this research, and he's like, she's the person we need to hire, and all this.
So I want to press pause on that, okay? Because so many times I will get people that will reach out. They have a project, they have a launch, they have something going on, and they're trying to figure out, when should I implement PR? Should I hire a publicist? Should I hire an agency or a firm? Like, what should I do? But some of them are coming from prior firms, prior agencies where
they had bad relationships.
Or you didn't get the value from the money that you spent. So this is a real issue.
Very real issue. What I would say to that, because that's pretty much how I came to you. I mean,
I'm sick of y'all coming to me with baggage.
No.
You all come with baggage.
Not necessarily with PR baggage, but just dealing with, like, I dealt with photographers. I dealt with graphic artists that were just trash, So me having to shell out money, I'm gonna be defensive with just giving it out because I've been burned a couple of times. But this is what I want to say to that: you take what you learned from them burnt situations and implement it into your current situation without holding that current person you hired responsible for what happened to you in the past. So what that means is, just because I got burnt on a photo shoot and lost maybe $500, right? It's not Leah's fault that that person got away with my $500 and maybe I only got 2 pictures or whatever. I have to make sure that whatever the requirements are between me and Leah are on paper, and we're monitoring where we're at within our contract period. So that's how we did. Like, the first 90 days, it was like, hey, this is what I want to do. Where are we at? We went, 45 days out? Well, you said you wanted to do this. We're here. I'm projecting we're going to be here in the next XYZ. So we monitored that and was able to cultivate a real working relationship, because I didn't necessarily hold you accountable for what happened. I told you what happened in the past. But I didn't say, you better not run off with my money and woo, woo, woo. No, I didn't hold you accountable for what happened to me, but we definitely laid out a plan so that we can see the growth.
Right.
And that's important. So I would say that's my first tip is everybody's going to have some issues from the past. Do not hold your current person responsible for that, because what that does is damages the relationship. It makes it difficult for Leah to do her job. It makes it difficult for you to even see production or anything being produced because you're so negative in the thought of expecting a negative outcome.
And I will add on some tips because I get this quite often, and I actually just spoke with some people about this yesterday. When, say you get sick of PR in yourself, it will reach that point. I've had people that said, Leah, you've taught me everything. I've racked up everything, all the mentions. It's great. It's been fun. But now I don't have the time to do this anymore. I'm looking into an agency or a firm. One of the things that you can do so you don't get burned, I always tell them, you need to ask for case studies. Every single one of your businesses, your brands, your startups, whatever, you operate in a very specific, or you should be in a very specific niche area or industry. So when you're approaching a PR professional, you need to ask them, have you ever worked with anybody whose business landscape looks like mine?
Yep, that was my first question.
And if you have, what did it look like? What did the campaign look like? And what were those results? Otherwise, let's just say you're going to get a PR professional where 80% of their portfolio is technology.
Yep.
And here you're coming over in fashion.
And you're looking for them to do something in fashion,
right.
And they not even.
Or you're looking at all the logos like, oh, they secured MSN and Fox and all. Yeah, they did that with the technology writers or anchors or editors, but they don't even have the outreach for the folks who write within those media outlets for fashion. And you're so enamored with, because you can see yourself on Fox, you can see yourself in all these places, instead of being very strategic to say, I am in fashion, I need case studies where you've represented somebody that looks exactly like me.
It's like trying to fit a triangle into a square.
Right.
Where they're learning about your industry as you're paying them to learn about your industry without them being able to help you. So they're learning, and it's almost like trial and error because they don't know what's going on in the fashion world. And that was my first question, was like, hey, I know you do fashion, but what have you done with stores, boutiques, cosmetics? Like, what have you done to help me grow? And you're like, we had a lot of things. And then I had so many things already on the table that I didn't even know were big things. Like when you came on, we were doing the movie. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, oh, this is amazing. I'm like, really?
I was like, we need to do this. We need to do that. You need to post this. You need to post. I was just doing this with a client yesterday who, sidebar, was just named like he's a nominee for like a 2020 Innovation Award. And so his business development person, he's a client, sends it to me and says, yay, we're nominated for 2020 Innovation Award in transportation. And I was like, that's great. Send this back to the graphics guy. We need a graphic creator for social media that has his face on it and the logo that says 2020 Innovation Awards. We need to post it on LinkedIn. We need to post it on Facebook and Instagram. And she writes back and she says, well, the media outlets, because there's 2 media outlets that are doing the awards, the media outlets said that they're posting it on their sites. I said, no.
This is for you.
We have to
PR.
People need to associate not only his face. We talked about this in a prior podcast episode. They need to associate him as the CEO, the company, and this award all in together. One, all Correct. Together. And it needs to be all in one graphic. So she wasn't getting it. So I had to screenshot another client of mine that got it right. And I said, this is what we did for such and such. Can you please mimic the same thing and post it? And again, that's a way of PRing yourself to let the public know I'm up for this award. So clearly I've escalated in my industry.
Yeah. Or I'm trustworthy, or my product is valuable, or clearly, but when we came on, I had no clue that the movie I was in the movie. I told her to do the same thing for the movie. I was like, hello. I'm like, Leah, it's just the movie.
Red carpet, all that. We've got to make it larger than life.
She's like, but you're in the movie. The story's in the movie. I'm like, okay.
And it had Pilar Sanders in there.
Yeah, it had Malik Winfield, Cole from Martin.
Yeah, it had some pretty big Hollywood
And she's like, I can't believe you haven't did. I mean, literally, I bought her on maybe 2 weeks before the premiere.
Oh my
and
gosh.
she's like, you're in the movie? And
I was like, you need to update your bio. This needs to go in your resume. Yeah. This needs to be.
Oh, and let's talk about the resume, okay? So when Leah kept saying, oh, you have to build your resume, I'm like, I'm an entrepreneur. What do you mean? I don't need a resume. Oh, was I wrong? Oh, was I wrong? And my resume is so long now because I've, conquered a lot of things that I just didn't want to do. So you never know. Another reason why you need a PR is because you never know what is PRable. I had already filmed a whole movie.
Or to know. So if you're going to do it yourself, just to kind of know what are those things that could really highlight or create an amazing public image for your brand. Yeah. In this case, sometimes it's the littlest things that you don't even think about, where it's like, yes, you got nominated for an award. Don't just rely on the people giving you the award to pub it. You need to pub that yourself.
Yeah, and so with the award,
you're in a movie, make it larger than life.
Yeah, you got to make it larger
and you have to, when you're writing about it, and when you're spreading the message, you have to dig deep to really put that energy into words, because people can feel when you're actually excited.
And they can feel when you're fluffing.
Right.
They can feel when you're
because there's some people that will announce amazing things, and it's
flat
very
on water.
Flat, where it's like, flat. I'm so honored to get this award, blah, blah, blah. But when you're really excited, people can tell.
I want you guys to stay away from faking it till you make it, though. So if you
can't just take over my podcast and then just have it going all over the place.
I'm just saying, sometimes when people are up for something or whatever, they'll like make it that you give the best of what you can or whatever, but they'll straight out lie. So we don't want to lie. They have to get the disclosure out there. We don't want to lie, but we want to make ourselves look good. So don't fake it till you make it, but do what you need to do.
Oh my gosh!
I have to be real. I can't be lying to these people.
Oh my gosh! Well. That was totally sidetracked.
Sorry.
Yes, and I know it's going to seem a little bit all over the place, but there's some really good nuggets in here. So as we kind of wrap before we go into our PR hot news, let's just kind of backtrack. So we talked about when Quiana was trying to figure out whether to engage with PR or some sort of public relations strategy. One of the questions that I get all the time is, well, what are those areas that I need to do? Like, when do I know? And so I always have 3 major ones, but I feel like as small businesses, brands, and entrepreneurs, you should be looking to stay relevant and to stay in the public eye consistently.
You're right, because with COVID, I was planning on not doing nothing in 2020. I didn't want to go to an event. I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want nobody looking at me. And COVID said no. Well, God said no, because look what happened. We did the book. I did WFAA. I've had the global magazine spread. You
won 2020 Creative Entrepreneur.
I won 2020 Creative Entrepreneur. Thank you for Dallas Startup Week.
Did you get your award?
I sure did.
Have you posted it yet?
Not yet.
See, you see what I'm saying?
Well, I had some complications last week, but I will be posting it. I've done so much in 2020 that I'm like, oh my God, and I didn't want to do nothing. And I still have 2 more projects that's coming out before 2021.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So
get them projects, girl.
Congrats to Quiana. But when you think of when, I like to keep it simple with 3 things. So one is upon the release of something new. Like if you're launching something new, like Quiana was saying, like I'm about to launch something new with the boutique, or I'm about to launch a new book, or anything that's new, you've never spoken about it, you haven't publicized it, you may want to consider coming up with some sort of PR, maybe media, press, outreach, influencers to help spread the word. We'll get to it. Number 2, another situation. So this is for ongoing PR that I like to tell people, like, never just engage in a campaign and then, like Quiana said, I ain't doing nothing in 2020. Don't do that, right? So for the next one, I always tell my clients, and we'll get into this in other podcast episodes because we don't have time to go through this today, is that you should know what you're an expert in. So Quiana would be an expert in fashion and trends and style. So you should be looking for ways to plug yourself into those conversations consistently throughout the year. So if you see, like when COVID was going on, some of the ideas that I would give to folks is like, why don't you call the news station and tell them that the hot new thing is for people not to spend money right now, and that they're actually investing more in loungewear and athleisure than they are in anything else.
And face masks.
And so I did a big campaign on our Dallas fashion designers getting into the face mask trend, and that was hot. Another thing that was newsworthy was, I think, when things kind of turned around midway through COVID, where people were like, well, we're going to spend money, but we're actually going to invest it in luxury goods that appreciate over time. That was something that was hot. So if you're an expert, how can you tap into that and take that trend and reach out and be the expert to speak in news or in magazines or in the press about that very topic? So that's number 2. Approach PR when you consistently can stay relevant in the conversation with newsworthy trends that highlight your expertise. And 3, upon any type of event that you're going to have, which virtual events are huge now, Quiana, you have an event coming up. Yes, you need to do PR around the event. However, you have to do it in a way that's not just, I'm having an event. Come out. They're not going to cover that.
Yeah, they're not going to cover it at all.
It has to have an
tap
angle.
into an angle. You're right.
So in Quiana's case, we'll just use yours as an example. She has, I don't know if she identifies herself as a stylist anymore.
No, she is just a celebrity.
Okay, so she has celebrity style icon, I would say.
Yes.
Gugu, who is Erica Campbell's sister.
Erica and Tina Campbell's sister.
She was on WeTV.
So, we've done some things with her in the past.
Yeah. So Quiana has her coming in. So now she's using a celebrity and or influencer to help highlight her event, which always makes that more marketable, in my opinion, for news, press, and to get people to kind of latch on because they're going to want to be affiliated or interview that particular celebrity.
Yeah, they're going to want to know how she's been dealing with COVID more so than what's going on with me. But that's good because people that may want to come see her, I haven't met yet. So I'm tapping into her fan base, and she's catering to my fan base.
Yes.
So that's
upon the event, you may want to consider putting together some sort of PR campaign or reaching out to news. You can use celebrities. You can use influencers.
I've already hired my PR for that.
But if you're doing it yourself, just know that those are some tips or tricks. So those are my 3 when people are like, Leah, I don't even know when to reach out for press or media. 1, upon the launch of something new. 2, if something is trending and you know you can weigh in, reach out to your news people and tell them you're an expert in that, and they will put you on. And 3, when you're putting on an event.
So what would be the best way to reach out to a press? Just like,
we don't have time to go through that today.
Okay, we'll go through that later.
Press and media outreach will be an entirely different podcast. We only have so much time in these segments.
I'm asking all these tough questions.
I want you guys to continue listening in because after many of these, you will be able to PR yourself. So I think that was great. This always covers people that are skeptical about
one thing I want to say, that if you are skeptical about hiring a PR person, you just let go whatever fears you have and give it a shot. If you are skeptical about PRing yourself, let go of whatever inner fears that you have and just tell yourself, like I tell myself every day, I am the brand. That one sentence makes me motivate and PR myself and reach out and do the work that I do every single day. I am the brand. If I don't move, the brand don't move.
So we're gonna have to schedule a whole nother segment because I do want to hit on outreach too, where you have to dig deep and just truly love your brand. And I think Pastor Mike Todd from Transformation Church had this example where he was like, you just gotta have this rip the roof off mentality.
Yeah.
So I have that on a Post-it near my computer where when we're doing outreach, it is a no holds bar, rip the roof off mentality where we're contacting everybody. We're doing it by any means necessary to secure coverage, and that's going to be something that you're going to have to internalize. And because if you're going to be doing PR yourself, you're going to have thick skin, and you're going to have to be consistent and have some resilience.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Thick skin is the key because I don't really can.
All right. So we only have a couple minutes for our hot topic because we just can't shut up. But Hot PR topic for this segment.
Who am I PRing today?
Who are you playing publicist to? Okay. All right. Stassi Schroeder, Vanderpump Rules. So I was on Twitter and I received a notification that Stassi was upset because she had gone on the Tamron Hall show, which shout out to Tamron. I love her show.
Amazing.
Had gone on Tamron Hall show because previously in years prior, Stassi had some footage out there where it was very racist. She had engaged in some activities against another Vanderpump Rules
employee,
co-star, and they laughed about it. The girl was African American, so there was some racial tension there. When it resurfaced, she was fired from Vanderpump Rules for those very reasons. And so as a part of, I guess, her PR strategy, her publicist linked her up with Tamron. That was the first exclusive interview that she was going to have on the issue. And didn't go too well. And all I know is I'm getting a notification on Twitter that now Stassi's upset because she felt like she was thrown under the bus with her interview with Tamron Hall. And I quickly take the Twitter to say, that's your publicist's fault.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I think it's not only her publicist's fault, but it's her fault as well, because I wouldn't go on anybody's show without doing the research of what that show is about, what their demographics are about. It's clear what questions you were going to be at, and I'm pretty sure those questions were sent to you.
No, Tamron. Now that's one thing Tamron does not do. Oh. She says, we know the scope of the interview, but because I want authenticity, I do not send you those questions ahead of time.
Yeah.
But however, I do think that the publicist could have guided it in a certain way. And I also do think that they did research the demographics. Yeah. They were trying to rebuild her image in Tamron's audiences, her demographics' eyes. It just didn't go well.
I think
the strategy didn't go well.
I think the publicist did, but I don't think Stassi did. No, I don't think she did at all. And I don't think she was prepped
definitely wasn't prepped
to counteract any race questions or any
her answers rebuttals. The whole time was
I just didn't know.
My racial coach, like she has a racial equity and diversity coach.
And most people think when they hire people like that, it's like saying, oh, I'm cured, or oh, I see a new light, or I've discovered my wrong. But it's more to you just hiring somebody to tell you were wrong.
Right.
You know, you have to actually see it for yourself and learn those lessons and display those lessons. And she didn't do that. She definitely didn't do that in her interview. Her interview was horrible. It really was.
It was bad. I couldn't watch the whole thing. I was cringing the entire time.
Because when Tamron said, "Oh, I don't think that you you really understand or you really know," and she was like, "Oh, I do. My coach." She kept saying her coach, and I'm like, "Your coach has nothing to do with you learning the value of the lost value in what you did." Kind of reminds me of Jeffree Star, but we're not gonna go there either. But yeah, we're not gonna go there. But yeah, she totally failed. That's all I'm saying. She totally failed. She needed a new publicist, because I wouldn't have put her on that show without her being able to answer any racial questions.
Genuinely. Genuine to constantly put it onto your racial coach.
Yeah.
Every question, well, my race coach said, or my whatever the coach was called.
And then she'll say, well, I grew up in Louisiana. Who cares where you grew up? So you're blaming Louisiana on how you view race? Like, that was, whoever your racial coach was, they need to be fired too.
I could see what the publicist was trying to do, but it was an epic fail.
It was an epic fail.
I probably, if I were the publicist as a part of rebuilding her brand, I would not have chosen Tamron's show. I probably would have went the route of maybe a written article, maybe where you kind of have a little bit more creative control on such sensitive issues, because sometimes the editor or whoever will allow you to see it before it's published if you ask them.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of
versus
all the
something
shows
that's live and you cannot.
There's no show that would have let her get away with that. The View, The Real, The Talk, none of them would have let her get away with that. Like, I feel like the same questions Tamron had for her, she would have got on any platform. Wendy would have ate her alive.
Right. So I do think, like, the publishers should have prepped her a lot more, or maybe it was just not a good PR
not
move,
a good. It's epic fail. So whoever Stassi's PR person is, you failed.
Oh my
and
gosh.
you need to go back to the drawing board because it's gonna take her a little bit to dig herself out of that hole.
So I think the lesson is if you find yourself in a pickle, maybe sometimes it's just laying low and not bringing more light to the issue by contacting your news and press and doing a little bit more research on the host, your interviewer, and their platform and target audience. And oh, by the way, if you didn't know, with some of them you can ask to see the publication or to see things before it's actually published, if it's like a magazine or something online. Not necessarily for live TV, they probably won't. You can ask for the questions, but I do know Tamron's philosophy is that she does not like to give them the questions ahead of time.
But did you see something about her suing her?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I thought she filed a lawsuit or something.
But that would be hilarious because of why.
Yeah, she filed a lawsuit.
It's facts. You did what you did.
Yeah.
You should sue your publicist.
No, that just shows more.
They failed.
That just proves Tamron's point.
Exactly. Tamron's unbothered right now. Tamron doesn't know me. But I feel like she's unbothered right now, drinking a cocktail with an umbrella in it.
Shout out to Tamron.
We love you. Well, thanks, Quiana, for coming on. You really hit on some really great issues, and we can't wait to have you back when we talk about like social media, TikTok, Instagram Reels, how to capitalize on that.
I can't wait. I'm going to start doing my research now.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you guys for joining us. If you like this, please subscribe, share it out, leave us a comment, rate this podcast. You can always visit me at leahfrazier.com or send me an email if you have any show suggestions or PR questions to leah@think3media.com. And until then, we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you guys so much to listening to this episode of PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. Just wanted to throw some things out there for you guys that are looking for just a little bit of additional help as you're trying to PR yourself with your business or your brand. I want you guys to know about these resources that I've curated just for you. So you can always head to PR Yourself with leahfrazier.com, and it will have all the episode recaps there with photos of the folks that are coming on and the panelists, along with the episode recaps and ways that you can reach out to them directly. And also, if you go to PR Yourself with leahfrazier.com/course, then you yourself, if you just can't wait, if you want to dive in there and know all of the nuggets and you want it in more of an educational and informative fashion, please, please, please take my self-paced course, PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. It is one of my highest ranked courses. I've taught this for the last 2 years. I'm constantly getting requested to teach this course across the U.S. I've done it virtually now during the pandemic, and it is a hit. I've had people receive both local and national mentions, things that have helped their businesses truly go to the next level. So remember, PR Yourself with leahfrazier.com/course, and you'll learn everything that you need to do, and you can do it all online, and it's completely self-paced so that you can PR yourself. Also, if you just want to learn more about some of the other marketing courses that we will be dropping periodically throughout the year, go to think3media.com, spell 3 all the way out, /think3edu, and we will be dropping all of our courses there. So that will pertain to everything with social media updates, influencer marketing, content marketing strategies. So if you just need little bits and pieces here and there, that's where you can go to access those courses and that content. We also have a monthly subscription service. So if you want to sign up for that, there will be a link there, think3media.com /think3edu, where once a month you will have one live course with me on something that is trending within marketing that could help you with your business and your brand. And also within that month, there will be a live mastermind session with other business owners or brands just like yourself, where we can mastermind and help you work through some of those marketing and PR issues that you may be having where you feel like you are stuck. We're going to help you PR yourself or market yourself and get unstuck. Okay. And lastly, huge announcement. My PR Yourself with Leah Frazier book is coming. I am finalizing it. It is coming, you guys, and it will drop January 2021. So head to pryourselfbook.com. It's a landing page, but you're able to sign up for my email list so that you get first access to know when that book will be out, and so that you will have yours shipped to you first. So you have to sign up for that list so that once that book launches, you get your hands on yours first. And this will literally be a physical manual that you will have in your office, and you'll be able to carry around with you in order to implement all of the PR strategies that you will need to take your business and brand to the next level. If in fact you're not at a point where you can hire a publicist or a PR agency or a firm. So that is pryourselfbook.com. It's coming January 2021. I'm so excited. I have been working on this for years, you guys, and I'm so excited to give it to you all at an affordable price. But without further ado, just keep listening, binge watching these episodes. I'm so excited to drop many more. And thank you so much for your support. Once again, if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so. Leah at Think3, spell 3 all the way out, media.com, or follow me on social media at the Leah Frazier, at Think3 Media. And you can follow the podcast itself at PR Yourself Podcast so that you never miss an episode and never miss an opportunity where you can learn from my media friends or other brands on how to PR yourself better. Until again.